Hello, thank you for watching Bible Words in Hebrew. Today we are discussing the character trait ungratefulness. A few videos ago I explained Mussar, a technique or a way of life to examine your character traits and to improve. Ungratefulness, the Hebrew word is, I couldn't really find one for that in the Bible, and I chose the Bible word loon to study this character trait. Loon, we find the word in Jeremiah 4 verse 14. I use the Current Jerusalem Bible for my studies. Jerusalem, wash thy heart from wickedness, that thou mayst be saved. How long shall thy thoughts of calamity lodge within thee? Here we have the word loon. When we look it up in the concordance, it is a verb, and it doesn't seem to have a lot to do with ungratefulness, but it says lodge. So lodge, thoughts of calamity that lodge in you. This verse suggests that you can do something about that you can wash your own heart, and you should not let bad thoughts lodge within you, stay overnight within you. So this word loon, that has something to do with ungratefulness, is also something to do with lodge. When we look it up in the dictionary, we see the verb in kal, and in kal it means to pass the night, to lodge, to abide, to remain, to continue. And the verse from Jeremiah that we started with is also, this verb is in the kal there. Hifil, to cause, to remain overnight, and hitpalpel, to lodge or to stay. And then we have nifal and hifil, and another hifal in some other way means to mutter, to murmur, or to be refractory. So this stem can mean all these, can have all of these meanings, but we will study mutter and murmur. That of course has a lot to do with ungratefulness, and that is why I chose this word. Word connections. Word connections can tell us a lot about a Hebrew word, because when two of the characters are the same in two words, we can suspect some word connections, and I found a few for loon. First, Lu. There's a Jewish Israeli song, Lu Yehi. It can be translated as let it be that, if yet, oh that, oh if. And of course, in the meaning of if yet or oh if, it can also be seen as a complaint, if only, that meaning. Tulunot means murmuring or refractoriness, so that is, it's really connected to our word loon. Laila, night. Loon also means to stay overnight, and complaints and bad thoughts, maybe the night is really the time when those occur, when you tend to lose control over your own mind because you're tired. Yalal, to wail, to lament, or to shout triumphantly. We can see the connection there. Yayin, wine or intoxication. Yayin, wine, can intensify every feeling, so it can also intensify feelings of ingratitude or depression or sometimes wine can lift you up temporarily, but in the morning after drinking you can feel depressed and be inclined to complain. And finally, Ranan is also a connection with the word lun, and it means to cry aloud, to shout with joy, to rejoice, to lament, or to wail. Complaining does not often happen quietly. People have to be verbal about their complaints a lot when they have them. The characters can also give us information about a word. First, the lamed numerical value is 30, means an ox goad, stimulant, to learn or to study. And maybe in this word we need to be stimulated not to complain, or not to be ungrateful, but to take control of our own hearts and minds, and to make ourselves see the good things in life itself. Vav, numerical value of 6, means hook. It's a connecting item and it is a symbol of man. The Vav is also in the 4-letter name of God, Yud He Vav He, and as a symbol of man, man can connect heaven and earth together by thanking for everything that the Creator gave us, thanking for everything that is in creation. That way we connect heaven and earth, but we can also choose to disconnect. And that is what we do when we are ungrateful. We disconnect heaven from earth. The closing nun, numerical value of 50. Nun is the letter of freedom, of entering into the new land. It's a breakthrough in society. Nun means fish. And the closing nun goes into the ground, and that is a symbol of continuity or of faithfulness. And we saw that in the word there is also a meaning like lodging, staying. We can see that back in this closing form of nun. Some Bible verses. The first mention is Genesis 19 verse 2. It's a story of Lot in Sodom. And he said, "Behold now, my lords, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house and tarry all night and wash your feet, and you may rise up early and go your ways." And they said, "No, but we will abide in the street all night." Lot invites the angels to stay with him. They're bringing bad news. Maybe Lot is suspecting that, I don't know, but he knows it's dangerous for strangers to stay in the street, and by letting them into his house, he first, it looks like he endangers his own family by doing that, but still he does that. He keeps them safe, and it was a very good choice to show them hospitality. So this verse says, I think, it says a lot. It says so many things, but maybe it also says, be wise about who enters your house and who lodges with you. The first mention in Nifal or Hifil, in the meaning of complaining, is Exodus 15 verse 24. And the people murmured against Moshe, saying, "What shall we drink?" And this murmuring is an act of disbelief, and of course also of ingratitude. When you look these verses up in the Bible where the people murmur, it's always soon after something, some great miracle has happened. They have seen the wonders of God, and sometimes not even a page later, they are murmuring, they are worrying about what they do not have, even if God has always provided them with everything they needed. When they think they lack something, or they are afraid that some need will not be provided for, they start murmuring again. Well, our word murmur, loon, appears 5 times in Numbers 14, in verse 2, 27, 29 and 36, and also some of the word connections we found. So I'll read the verses. And all the children of Israel murmured against Moshe and against Aharon, and the whole congregation said to them, would that, Lu, if only, would that we had died in the land of Mizraim, that's Egypt, or would we had died in this wilderness. How long shall I bear with this evil congregation who murmur against me? I have heard the murmurings, it's also one of the word connections, of the children of Israel, which they murmur against me. And then, verse 29, your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and all that were numbered of you, according to your whole number, from 20 years old and upward, who have murmured against me. So, murmuring has bad consequences for the people of Israel in the desert. They are not allowed to see the promised land, to enter the good land. And then verse 36, it's about the spies who come back scared from the land, and the man whom Moshe sent to spy the land, who returned and made all the congregation murmur against him by bringing up a slander upon the land. So by murmuring about the land, they slandered the land, and by being afraid of it. And well, they also were not allowed to enter the land except for Joshua and Caleb, of course, who saw the goodness of the land and who had faith in God that the land was given to them. Joshua 9 verse 18, and the children of Israel smote them not, because the princes of the congregation had sworn to them by the Lord God of Israel, and the congregation murmured against the princes. So murmuring against those who are above us still happens a lot. And if you want to know why the children of Israel did not smite this particular people, you could read Joshua chapter 9, and it all becomes clear. First mention in the Psalms is Psalm 25, verse 13. I will also read verse 12. What man is he that fears the Lord? Him shall he teach in the way that he should choose. His soul shall abide in prosperity, and his seed shall inherit the earth. So, abiding in a good way. People who fear the Lord, and they shall be taught in the way that they should choose, and they shall abide, lodge in prosperity. They will stay there. A very famous verse, I think, is Psalm 91 verse 1. He that dwells in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Beautiful Bible verse. And then Proverbs 15 verse 31. I think this is a typical Mussar verse. The ear that listens to the reproof of life abides among the wise. So when there's a character trait and you think, oh, I guess I need to work on it, when you listen and you see how you can improve, you abide among the wise. And in closing, Ruth 1 verse 16 and 3 verse 14. And Ruth said, "Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For wherever thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God." Ruth chooses wisely where she will lodge. And a few chapters later, she goes to the field at night to be with Boaz, to ask him to be her kinsman. And he says, "Tarry this night." So he understands her intentions, and he also chooses wise company, but he is a righteous man about it. There's another man who has a right, and he lets Ruth tarry, but he also has to do the right thing. "Tarry this night, and it shall be in the morning, that if he will perform to thee the part of a kinsman, well, let him do the kinsman's part. But if he will not do the part of a kinsman to thee, then will I do the part of a kinsman to thee. As the Lord lives, lie down until the morning." And these people play an important role in the coming of King David. And when you are a Christian, you believe that they are also in the bloodline of Jesus Christ. So choosing to stay in the right place with the right people can have beautiful consequences. One of the books I use for my studies is Hebrew in 6 Days. If you're interested, Google it. You can find it on Amazon or wherever. If you can't find it, send me an email and I'll get back to you. If you want to know more, you can look at my blog post, elskavaal.blog. And if you want to know more or a heads up with every new video, send me an email at elskavaal@gmail.com. I would love to hear from you. Have a great week. Bye.